Hi and welcome to another session of Power BI Desktop. Today we are going to conclude our all learnings which we have done over previous 10 sessions. Today we are going to start with the best practices, what we've gathered by experience and by different forums and from different groups. Overall, Power BI seems to be the best in place product for developing BI solution for organizational uses. A typical best practices of Power BI would include developer or designer would usually keep his Power BI desktop application updated all the time. This update comes monthly. So it's on the developer or the business user who's designing the Power BI desktop to ideally refresh the Power BI desktop application. This ensures that any fixes in the software application are received well by us. Any new updates, new visualization which Microsoft have integrated with Power BI desktop application are in place and available for our use. At the same time, we need to check that every visualization, be it Microsoft Visual or a third-party app source visual, are up to date. So ensuring all the visuals on all the pages are up to date is one of the tasks, along with the Power BI desktop application to be updated every month. The best practice would also include the number of visuals which we have on our dashboards and reports. So the idea is having minimum number of visuals in the dashboards. For example, for the dashboards, you should have at max about 20 tiles on the dashboard screen. Also, in the reports front, if there are more visuals, it takes more queries to load them and therefore slows down the performance. So an ideal threshold would be around 3 to 8 visuals with at most one grid in place in every page of a Power BI report. Then, to improve the Power BI report performance, we have to remove the unnecessary interactions between the visuals. So what does this mean is every different visuals which is available in Power BI desktop interacts with each other by default. So the onus is on the developer or the business designer to ensure that those dependencies or interactions are ironed out and kept to the minimum levels. This ensures good Power BI performance. We definitely know what the row level security is, and we have to use row level security to limit and protect the unnecessary data being leaked to the end users who are not supposed to have that. At the same time, from the Power BI perspective and from the technical perspective, if we have row level security in place, then amount of data which would be flowing from your servers or from the cloud to your Power BI desktop or on the reports and the dashboard would be limited, hence improve the performance. So wherever possible, ensure that use row level security to the maximum. Also, the third-party application source, the app source, which develops brilliant visuals, are certified and kept in App Source, Microsoft App Source. And it's for our benefit to make use of that app source and use them in our day-to-day reports and dashboards. The advantage of using the visuals from the app source would be these visuals are thoroughly tested by Microsoft, so they are as good as the default visualization provided by Power BI Desktop and Microsoft. At the same time, when you do an export to PowerPoint or the PDF of these visualizations, these visuals actually come down well on these export files. Whereas an uncertified Microsoft app visuals which have been imported as a PBIX file and then made use of in your reports and visualization and dashboards would not come in the export feature. So while thinking about the extensibility and the shareability of your reports to the users who do not have access to Power BI Desktop, it's fair to use Microsoft Visuals by default and at max visuals from the app source. Also, If you observe there is a lag and there is a performance delay in Power BI while using the report, please check on the filter mechanism. If there are hierarchical filters which are built on, that is like a cascade filters which is in place, it would be fair them to the minimum usage as possible. At the same time, we provide for the data categorization for Power BI reports, which means high business impact, medium business impact, and low business impact. So for certain kind of data which has a very high impact on the business, the users who are consuming it have to be filtered using row level security, and the numbers have to be accurately reported in the right format, be it charts or the cards having a single number. And accordingly, the shareability should be decided of those reports. One way of doing it would be, we have a common data set which would help us design different reports, and on top of it various dashboards. So with that, a specific report would have only limited set of information which is built on a common data set and would be shared with the person as per the data categorization. Again, the gateway which we saw we used while pushing the data from the data source to the Power BI cloud has to be as far as possible as an on-premise gateway, because on-premise gateway do not take that bandwidth, whereas the personalized data gateway would download all the information, consume the bandwidth, and it would be a cumbersome task to work with a personal gateway dependent on a person. So the ideal way would be an on-premises data gateway to make use of the transport and transfer of data from the data source to the Power BI cloud.